Desai from Maryland.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. Dhanyavad Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to announce their names? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading chapter 18, Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation, text number 68 and 69. Hare Krishna. Gopal Pran Prabhuji, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can I share the screen?
Wait a minute, Prabhuji.
I'm not host or co-host, so someone has to make me so that I can show the verse.
Yes, Prabhuji. 1 minute. Yeah. Just a minute.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Yes, you have this, Prabhuji.
Open
Hare
the
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. या idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshu abhishayatsi bhakti mahi param kritva mam evashyasti asamshaya. So how do we do? We recite the verse or like someone recites the verse again and again, like 3 devotees or Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You want us to read?
Yeah. Can we recite the verse or like?
Yes, you can say
yeah.
that. Yes, so this is Shamarisika Devidasi.
Hmm.
Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhakteshvabhidhasyati bhaktim mayi param kritvam mame vashyatya sanshayah. Hare Krishna. Haladar Prabhu, please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Haladar Prabhu, you would like to recite the verse? Okay. Anybody else would like to recite the verse? Please go ahead.
Sorry, I was in a mute, Mata.
Oh, no problem.
Okay. The wordings are
Yes.
Yam paramam guhyam madbhakteshwa abhidashati bhakti mayi param kritva mame vaishyati asamsaya. Yaidam paramam guhyam madbhakteshwa abhidashati bhakti mayi param kritva mame vaishyati asamsaya.
One more devotee can recite the verse.
Hare Krishna. Sumiti Sirida. Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhaktesha abhidashyati bhaktim mayi param kritva mame vyashyati samshaya. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Translation: for one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end, he will come back to me. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed amongst the devotees only. For those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach to pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. I'll just read this verse. Na jas tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakrittamam bhavati na cha me tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Tadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamischa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivi Sajvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamischa नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम परायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा First of all, I seek the blessings of all the devotees who have assembled here on this Zoom call so that I can speak something meaningful and whatever I've learned from my guru, from my spiritual teachers, mentors, and speak in such a way that it's uplifting to everyone, purifying to the heart of everyone, and to glorify Lord Krishna. So I seek blessings of all the devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhaya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. This verse is amazing verse. We are coming to a conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. We are coming to a conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Almost like few verses remaining in this chapter, and we are coming to a section of Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, which is like the contents of Bhagavad Gita summarized, or the perfection of renunciation in the title of the chapter. But here in this chapter, what Krishna tells is amazing. He tells all the philosophies what he has spoken, he brings it to Arjuna again, and then put forward a complete scenario of what all he has spoken in past few verses or past few chapters. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is a just flow of dialogues between Krishna and Arjuna. But then our acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and others, they divided the Bhagavad Gita according to understanding the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. So this is amazing, because of their thing, we can get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in a very systematic way. Or else, if it would have been a dialogue, then it would have been a very difficult thing for us to understand what is happening in each verse. So this is wonderful. In this chapter, if we see what Krishna is telling in these few verses, what Krishna is telling is he's before that Krishna is, in this verses from 67 onwards, it's the glorification of studying the Bhagavad Gita and preaching the Bhagavad Gita has been emphasized so much. So these verses, what we are teaching, what we are having now, is nothing but the glorification of Bhagavad Gita. Anyone who takes to the process of Bhagavad Gita and who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita, what is the effect? What happens to that person? What happens to that person is been given in these verses. We just heard the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, that is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tam Sarva Papyebhyo Mokshayishami Masucha. That verse is just completed. That is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, that you just surrender and then follow my instruction, give up all different duties and just surrender to me. And Krishna is telling, I'll deliver you from all the sinful activities and I'll show you the path by which you can follow me very easily. So that is the conclusion, that is the ending. But now what is happening is, now Krishna is telling how one can glorify Krishna, glorify the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and what are the effects of teachings of Bhagavad Gita. What happens to a person who starts teaching Bhagavad Gita to others. Ya idam parmam guhyam mad bhakteshu abhidhayasati. One who explains this supreme secret of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees, he attains pure devotional service to me. Everyone is looking for something. When we want to become a devotee and we are expecting something from Krishna, is what? That we want to practice pure devotional service. And how can we practice pure devotional service? Is by preaching about the message of Krishna to others. So today, I was just thinking, just a second, I'll just close. So today I was just thinking, what should be the mood of a preacher, or what should be the mood of a preacher? Why preaching is important. If we see in these verses, it's very clearly understood why preaching has to be done. Why one should become a preacher of Bhagavad Gita. Like in the purport, it's very clearly understood that Bhagavad Gita should be discussed amongst the devotees. So why do we go out and distribute books, Bhagavad Gita, to others? What is the purpose of giving books to others? What is the purpose of connecting so many people and asking them to learn Bhagavad Gita? Since it is just meant for devotees, then this question is always raised, that why it should be given, why it should be. And Krishna tells also that, Bhagavad Gita is understood only when a person surrenders to a guru, or a person surrenders to Krishna, then only the message of Gita sinks in the heart and he can apply. But we go out and distribute Bhagavad Gita to everyone. Anyone who comes in touch with this message of Gita, we have that it gets benefited. So yes, the thing is correct, that we want everyone to go out and preach, go out and give this message of Gita to everyone. So first is, why, what is preaching in one way? First, preaching is nothing but uh, giving a path, or giving or helping a person, helping a conditioned soul to return to the right path. That is preaching, transforming his heart, or making a person come closer to the Lord. That is preaching. So a preacher means he's always sure, he's always making some arrangements for the conditioned souls who are suffering in this material world, somehow or the other, that he should come to the path of practicing spirituality, or practicing Krishna consciousness, or becoming a devotee of the Lord. If we want to sing also, sometimes we want to sing, and we think, just by singing here and there, or singing in the bathroom, I'll become a nice professional singer. That doesn't happens. So same way, if you want to learn classical singing, or classical music, or classical dance, or anything, what we do, we take time out and we go to classes for learning music. So when it comes to spiritual practices also, when it comes that, we want to go and preach, what we should do is we have to practice. We have to practice this art of giving this message to others, and that should come very naturally also. So preaching has to be done, and preaching, for that preaching, we need to learn how to preach to the people around whom we are living with. So that's a very important thing. What is important? What is emphasized? You know, um, Preaching means one important thing is we don't superimpose anything to them. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I was reading a quote of Radhanath Maharaj, in which he was telling very beautifully. No, this actually not quote. I was hearing a talk of Radhanath Maharaj, which he gave to Boston preachers. Recently Maharaj was visiting Boston, and they had a meeting with all the preachers of the Boston temple. And during that meeting, Maharaj spoke very beautifully that we should present our philosophy in such a way that we should not ask them to change their philosophy, but we present our philosophy in such a beautiful way that the people who hear this philosophy, what happens is we give them a chance to choose the best philosophy or best message, what is appealing to them. So for us, a preacher means he should be able to preach this message very, very nicely. And sometimes we tell that while we are preaching, we do many different things, so like many different things to preach the message of Krishna. Like, if why preaching is also very important is we can very easily understand. If the house is on fire, then people keep running outside here and there asking for help, even though if the person is living in a foreign country or in a different country where he doesn't know the language. But what he does, he tries to communicate in such a way that he gets help. The same way this material world is on fire, and so many people are running here and there. And in whatever way we can help them by giving them the right message, that way we can ask them to come and take shelter. Like ISKCON is considered like we consider that the fire brigade is the one who saves people when the world is when some place is on fire. But then ISKCON is also like fire brigade. It's saving people, whoever are suffering in this material world. We sing this song every day in the morning. Samsara dava नललितलोकात्रनाय कारुण्य घनाघनाक्तं प्रातस्य कल्याण गुणानवस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणारविन्दम्. So in this song, what are we praying to? Praying to the spiritual master. We are praying that this material world is on fire, and we need mercy of his, cloud-like mercy, so that he can extinguish the fire of this material world. Same way, every devotee who is part of ISKCON, he has to take this message very seriously. And what he does is he carries the mercy of the spiritual master and tries to distribute this mercy to everyone. I remember there was an incident actually. This was told by Gaurang Prabhu in one of the lectures. And he was telling that there was Rath Yatra, what was taking place in one place, and uh, while the Rath Yatra the procession was going on, there was some building nearby had caught fire, and the people were not able to escape. So one devotee very intelligently, what he did, he cut the cloth actually because they needed the cloth as a net, and he cut the cloth which was on the cart, and then immediately took that cart, the cloth, few devotees hold the cloth, and then one of the girl who was stuck up in the building, she immediately jumped down and saved herself. So it was like very intelligently people want to save everyone. People want to save the conditioned souls, even though they might be in different condition. They want to save. This was physically what people had saved, but then we want to save them from uh, going to hell in one way. Prabhupada always told, people are running in this material world. In what direction, no one knows. They're just running in the material world, and where are they heading? They're heading towards hell. So devotees always want to save the people from not going to the hellish planet, by giving them the message of Krishna. So this is like something, this is for this one should have great amount of compassion. for the devotees. Like our is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Our, our Acharya is Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma is one of his services is what? He's giving punishment to the souls. Why is he giving punishment to the souls? He's giving punishment to the souls by creating this material world in such a way that people forget the relationship with Krishna. So that people here who are there, they forget uh, the purpose for, what they are meant to do here. Ideally, the people here in this material world should reform their hearts and go back to the spiritual world. But then what is happening here is, we come here and we forget totally that we have come for reformation. We become like we have come here with a tendency to enjoy. So Lord Brahma's service is that, he's giving punishment to the conditioned souls by making this world more and more comfortable. But the nature of this world is it is always dukhalayam. So there will be always be a trouble in this material world. And seeing this, Lord Brahma also is like so much worried, what should be done for this conditioned souls, especially the conditioned souls in Kali Yuga. And he's feeling quite uh, painful in his heart. And during the conversation between Narad Muni and Brahmaji, Narada tells that there is only one solution. The solution is this 16 syllables, mantra, Hari Krishna mantra. If people take shelter of this mantra, then what will happen is they will be delivered from this material world, and go back to spiritual world. So, we like to do services. We want to be a good devotee, but at the same time, we don't want to, um, we don't want people to suffer in this material world. So we are like paradukha dukhi. When people are very, very sad in their condition, and most of the time, if you see, when I sometimes walk around here in the near the temple, with devotees, I've seen like people here are so busy, engrossed in not knowing what they are doing also. It's like really amazing. Amazingly surprising for us, how people are just living. What are they living for? They're living for temporary relationships, or temporary job, or careers, or making their home, or making their home. Prabhupada always told like this, we are trying to make a castle on the sand beach. What will happen? At the end of the day, wave will come, a big wave will come and will cast away that castle. Same way is with us also in the material world. We are trying to build a very beautiful house and live here permanently. But what is the hope actually that we'll be living here permanently? A time will come that everyone has to leave everything and go back. Death will come and then will shatter everything and take us away from this material world. So we have to invest something in that is permanent, and that permanent thing is in the spiritual world. So that thing one has to share. Like I was traveling around and I saw people, and if we speak also to the people don't have any goal in their life. What is their aim of life is most of the time is the aim of life is that they want to just earn money, make their positions very strong, or increase their position, or increase their standard of living more and more. So that is what is the mostly the aim of the people. Or they want to start a company just for earning more money, or anything like that. If you just ask any people outside, most of the time the aim is to be in this material world forever. But that's not possible. For a devotee, what is the aim of the life? The aim is to go back home, back to God, to achieve Krishna Prem. So that is what we are looking forward for. And that we, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have received that message so easily, so wonderfully. And if we don't take this message very seriously ourselves and don't practice it seriously in our lives, then how can we give it to others? When we start getting benefit by this message, then we want to benefit others also, because this message is such wonderful message. It's making our life transform in such a wonderful way. So this is something which we look forward for. A preacher means he's feeling that thing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling South India, what all things he did, he was like, you know he was walking around and chanting the holy name of the Lord, and he's giving this message of, he was like a preacher is like, he was giving this message to all the people there, and everyone who saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they started chanting the name of the Lord, and they felt great ecstasy just by seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because of that thing, their hearts became open and they received the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after that, after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left also that place, people started chanting the name of the Lord very ecstatically. And then they were in great ecstasy. In fact, village after village got transformed just by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So preacher is just like watering the seed. Seed of Krishna Prem is there in everyone's heart, and we just need to start watering, or finding that spark of bhakti in their hearts, and start watering that spark little by little, to whatever extent we can, to whatever capacity we have. So if we can just do that thing, then the preacher is like a very beautiful gardener actually. And then we see that a very beautiful flower of bhakti lata beach grows in the heart of the conditioned soul, and that will be the benefit of preaching actually. So preaching means, you know, uh, one who preaches the message of the Lord. He's like, Krishna enters the heart and purifies the soul of that person. When we speak or give Krishna in different forms to the living entity, then what happens is Krishna enters the heart and purifies that soul. To the degree we are humble instruments in the hands of our spiritual master, to that degree we allow Krishna to enter the heart of the other conditioned souls who are in close touch with us. So we have to always every day actually pray to Krishna that, Krishna, we need to pray to spiritual master also, that we should become like a humble instrument in their hands, so that they utilize us in a way that we can help the conditioned souls to purify their hearts and purify their minds. There's a shloka in Bhagvatam which tells very beautiful. Pravishte karanam randhena savan bhave saroruram dunhanti asmalam Krishna salilasya yatha sarat. This is from second canto, eighth chapter. The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the supreme soul, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of self-realized devotees, sits sits on the lotus flower of the loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of the material association. So Krishna is entering the heart and is cleansing the dust of material association, the material association of lust, anger, and hankering. Thus it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. So Krishna, as soon as a conditioned soul comes in touch with Krishna, what happens is Krishna enters the heart of that soul, and then he starts cleansing the dust, like we tell every time in the Shakam also, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Baho Mahadavagya Nirvapanam. The holy name, it enters the heart of every living entity who comes in touch with the holy name. And what it does is, it starts cleansing the heart of all the living entities. So we want, our hearts are very, very very, very muddy. Like, when the rain comes, and the rain falls, it becomes very muddy. And, it's not so clean that people want to walk around. But when this thing is evaporated, the water gets purified, then it becomes very, very nice. So our heart also should get purified by the touch of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada always used to say this thing, Krishna is the purifying agent. If we just allow Krishna to act in such a way that it purifies the heart of other living entities, it becomes, you know, this is what, like, we are supposed to do. When a preacher actually is able to give Krishna to other devotees, other people around, then he becomes very, very dear to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada also used to tell that, when a pure devotee speaks, what happens is, the saffron dust particle. This is from, there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam from where Prithu Maharaj is glorifying the pure devotees, the Brahmanas. And then he tells during that time that when a pure devotee speaks the glories of Krishna, the glories of the Lord, his qualities, his pastimes, his activities, his qualities, what happens is the saffron dust particles from the lotus feet of Krishna, they enter the mouth of the devotee, and when these devotees speak the glories of Krishna, what happens is the dust particles from the lotus feet of Krishna, they go spread through the air, and they fall on the conditioned soul's head. And what happens when this dust particle falls on the conditioned souls, what happens is they receive the special mercy of Krishna. And just by receiving that special mercy of Krishna, what happens? The conditioned soul gets revived. His relationship with Krishna is revived. So preaching just doesn't mean that we are just speaking, but preaching means we are able to give them, we are able to connect the people around with Krishna, through kirtan, to harinam, through prasad, by giving them books, by anything, by anything what we do. If the people around are getting transformed or coming closer to Krishna, that is the best thing. Like for George Harrison, Prabhupada never told him that you should leave everything and become a brahmachari. In fact, he wanted to become a monk. But then Prabhupada told, no, you should not become a monk like others, in the temple. But you can use your singing ability, and you sing the glories of Lord Krishna. And then he started singing a lot of songs about glorifying Krishna. And just by his effect, what happened? So many people around, they started singing the glories of Lord. And during that time, the Hare Krishna movement actually became like more accepted by the people around, because George Harrison was accepting this thing. So people people just by singing, he hampered the sense gratification of people. Though the people came looking forward for, as a musician, most of the people came that we want to enjoy his music. But then when Krishna came through his mouth, then that was the best preaching what he has done. And a lot of people, a lot of hippies actually turned into happies just by his hearing his songs and other things like that. So preaching is like very, very innovative things also we do. Like Radhanath Maharaj, when he was preaching in colleges, what was he doing? He started, doing this cooking classes. That was a very special initiative. What we saw that people, lot of people had come. He started this in Ohio Columbus University, and in Columbus he started this preaching cooking classes, and still it goes on actually. And so many people actually have turned and accepted Krishna consciousness by his classes actually. He was making halwa, he was making khichdi, he was making other things like that, and he was showing them how one should do these things. And just by doing these things, and they were accepting the food, and he was speaking for 10-15 minutes before cooking and everything like that. And by that, so many students actually turned to Krishna consciousness by this thing. So preaching can be always be done in a different way, where they don't accept direct philosophy. We can go through a indirect way and still connect them to preaching. So this is very important that as a preacher, we have to we have to make sure that we connect so many conditioned souls to uh, to Krishna. So language and technique doesn't matter. Like sometimes we consider that we may not be able to communicate with the people around, but if we have a pure heart, then Krishna definitely helps us to connect with the people around. And for having a pure heart, what we have to do is we have to express, we have to become a humble instrument in the hands, and we have to have that humble demeanor by which people actually get attracted to us. And they get in touch with us through our very kind behavior. A preacher means he just doesn't speak, but he acts also what he's speaking. So that is very important. He thinks also in the same direction, he speaks also in the same direction, and he acts also in the same direction. It's not like he's thinking something, he's speaking one thing, and he's acting other way. So that is not preaching at all. Preaching means he does all the three things. Thinking, words, thoughts are same, words are same, and his act or behavior is same, then only he is preaching. So most of the time, if we have, our words can be very similar, our words can be same, our mind thoughts can be same, but our behavior is not proper, then that affects a lot actually. So, most of the times, it's like preaching is done through not just by words, but how we act also can express, people catch very, very strongly actually. So, if we do these things, then what happens? Like how Krishna is telling today, what we become when we openly give the secret of Krishna to others, what happens is our devotional service is guaranteed. If we start preaching to the conditioned soul, then what happens is our devotional service is guaranteed. We want to make our ticket to go back home, back to Godhead very easily. Then what we do is we bring more and more conditioned soul to the lotus feet of Krishna. And if someone becomes like Prabhupada also writes in Nectar of Instruction that in one of the verses or in one of the purports of Nectar of Instruction, what he writes is that by all my writings, if one pure devotee is made, and if he goes back home, back to Godhead, that is the success of all my writings. Especially the purpose of this thing. He writes that if one pure devotee is made through these books, then that is the success of this writing of all the books. So Prabhupada is writing that thing, and Prabhupada made so many pure devotees. So that is the success. So for us also, for us, what is the success in our Krishna consciousness life is if we can make many, if we can bring many conditioned souls to the lotus feet of Krishna, and if they become pure devotee, then our success is guaranteed. Our success is guaranteed because Krishna, if they go back home, back to Godhead, for us, we also immediately get a ticket to go back home, back to Godhead. Like if we see the example of Dhruv Maharaj also. Dhruv Maharaj, who preached, her mother was the first one to calm Dhruv Maharaj and explain what he should do in this troublesome situation. And just by preaching the right message, what had happened? While Dhruv Maharaj was going back home, back to Godhead, first thing he asked was, "Where is my mother? I should, take my mother, with me." And before she could, before the Vaikuntha Vasis, the Vaikuntha, they were telling that she's already going ahead. You can see in the plane ahead that your mother is already going ahead. So the message is guaranteed. The thing is guaranteed that if we start preaching, if some devotees become, pure devotees by our preaching, then what happens? Our ticket to back home, back to Godhead is guaranteed. you know in Kali Yuga, especially, by the practices what we do, like, we have, like, we don't have taste for chanting, we don't have taste for hearing, we don't have taste for hearing, for rendering service. But if we make devotees by somehow or the other preaching very nicely, then what happens is, our ticket, our guarantee, by the strength of our chanting, how much can we get, how much can we attract Krishna's mercy? Not much. How much can we attract by, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? Because we are trying our level best to hear the message from pure devotees, but our hearts are still not getting purified. But then something special what we can do is we can take this shortcut of preaching to the people around, and if they become devotees, then Krishna and Prabhupada will see that, oh yes, he has done his part, at least he has brought so many conditioned souls to the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the lotus feet of Krishna. Just by doing that thing, what happens? We become very dear to the spiritual master, we become very dear to Krishna. And Krishna sees this thing and tells, okay, yes, I can definitely take you back home, back to Godhead because of your this efforts of, bringing so many conditioned souls. So our mood should be always, whenever we go out, our mood should be that we should always try to give Krishna to others. Somehow or the other, we should try to give Krishna to others. It's very important. In India, at least, whenever I have seen, devotees travel around, they try to give Krishna to others through prasad, through the holy name, through books. something else or the other. Every time we meet a devotee, every time we meet a person, there should be some impression of Krishna which is given to them. So if we can do that, that is the best thing what we are doing. They may accept or they may not accept, but from our side we have done our part. So it's always good. We travel so much, we go out around so much. So whenever we meet devotees or whenever we meet people around, we always give some books about Krishna consciousness to them. We always carry some prasad. We can always make cookies, pack them very nicely and give them very nicely. Here it's very easy to give them cookies. We and or sometimes when there are programs around, we can always invite the new people, ask them to come and see how is it going on. So it's always important that we try to give Krishna consciousness to the conditioned soul in some way or the other. If we can do that, that is the success in our practice of our bhakti. And then Krishna is telling, whoever does that, that is the open secret actually what Krishna is telling, that they become very, very dear to me. The supreme secret of to attain pure devotional service is given. And at the end, he will definitely come back to me. So we want to go back home, back to Godhead. This is one of the best and shortest way by which we can go back home, back to Godhead. And we can become very, very dear to Krishna just by preaching the message of Krishna, just by becoming very nice instrument in the hands of our spiritual master and Krishna. Um, should we stop here or should we go ahead also? Till what time we go?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah. 10 more minutes is okay, Prabhuji, if you have time.
Okay, 10 more minutes. Or if we want to take some question and answers or some discussions, we can go ahead
No.
because
After
that
that,
also
you can take question answer.
question and answers. Okay,
Like, it's up to you, Prabhuji.
okay. Okay, we can have if we can check with if some devotees want to share something or have some questions
Yes.
or a comment anything, then that will be very nice. And if not, then we'll see. Yes. Someone wants to ask something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So very nice. You you took your time and explaining very, very nicely, very in detail. So where you said that Krishna Gita Mahatma start like 67 and then
Yeah,
goes to what slok?
till 71. Till 71, Krishna is telling the glories. In fact, it's till 78 if we see, this is the if we understand, it's till 78 verses. Now, what is happening is the message is like, the glory of studying Bhagavad Gita and teaching Bhagavad Gita is explained from 67th verse to 78th verse.
And एक और book भी है ना Gita Mahatma.
Yes.
That's coming right from here or as a
No,
somebody?
that is written by Shankaracharya actually, Gita Mahatmya. He has written few shlokas actually glorifying Gita Mahatmya, how what happens when we recite or read this Gita every day.
So, but point is, वो ये इन श्लोक से नहीं है. That's a kind of
नहीं,
wholesome.
yeah, that is different. What he has designed, what he has wrote or composed is different from what is presented by Krishna.
Okay. But your experience, your understanding is from 67 to 78 is the glory of Gita.
The Gita Subodhini by our Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. In that, he writes very clearly that this section of verses are glorifying Krishna and teachings of Bhagavad Gita to others. So, if you refer Subodhini, it becomes very easy. The sections are very easily, you can understand the sections, how Bhagavad Gita is going on, and each chapter, what is happening, has been very clearly explained.
And this book is available online or how can
Yes, Prabhuji. This book is available on Amazon. You can check. Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's book. I think it might be in the temple also. You can still check there also.
is anybody knows, is it in Potomac Temple?
No, Prabhuji, I think you have to order that.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yeah, sorry Prabhuji, interrupting. Yeah, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu is coming in July, I think. So we can get his book also. I don't know, we have in Potomac Temple.
Yeah, I'm very interested in get that book. If anybody can help, I will go today and I'll ask them if there is there. I will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you can check.
great.
Actually, it should be
I
available in
think they
Amazon.
have Prabhuji. They have. I saw last Sunday.
Okay, I'll go there. Are you coming there?
Yes, Prabhuji, we are coming today.
Okay, good. If yeah, I'll check over there. But that's very nice, Prabhuji. You told me this was going on in my mind many days, and today is one Ramayana discussion, so I will be participating actually. So I'll take this information today, and I think this is very, very clear words in these six slokas, 68 and 69. If we believe in Krishna, then we should believe in Krishna's words. And my group is like all senior people, if we don't do now, then when we going to do it, So I think I'm writing all your information and then try to share some of these to my people, That's very clear words. Thank you. And a
Thank you.
very nice message today. I really appreciate,
Thank you. Any other questions or any other comments from other devotees? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Madana Pranam to you.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai. I was asking Shamarastika Mataji about you, and I think I met you last year at the Brooklyn Temple.
Yeah.
There was my daughter's initiation, and so that time I was there. This is Rupini Padma Devi Dasi from Orlando, Florida.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
So nice to hear from you. I really like the point you mentioned about Radhanath Maharaj preaching in a form of teaching cooking.
Yeah.
So essential. This is what Prabhupada ji also did, right? He was teaching his disciples to cook, and so I think if we normally the focus is that distributing books and talking about Krishna, giving a class, that is main preaching, but it's so nice, through Radhanath Maharaj we understand that there are various aspects to preaching, because sometimes we might have interest to cook, rather than just distribute books. So we are also doing preaching, in that sense.
Yeah, correct. Actually, whoever is helping in preaching just doesn't mean that giving a class or something like that. Preaching starts with what? Preaching starts with one who starts, advertising the message of the class, or, it's like, sending the messages to everyone, following up all the devotees. That is also part of preaching, and speaking to the people around when they come, giving them nice welcome to the program. And preacher is giving, that is like 30% or 40% of the message is been delivered. And we cook very nice prasad, so anyone who's going helping in purchasing the vegetables or grocery or anything like that, that is also a part of preaching. He's indirectly or directly helping in the aspect of preaching. And speaking to the guests when they come, making sure they are very well connected to everyone. No guest is unattended, so that if we take that consideration, then that is preaching. Like everyone who comes to the program, he should be connected to some people around, some devotees. So if you are able to do that thing, then it's very wonderful. And preaching, one way is like, is more or less, it's more if we can cultivate people around here in United States, it's very very much required that when we are there, it's one to one relationship with the people around, that makes them devotee, rather than just asking them to come and attend a class or something like that. So that one to one relationship has to be established. And if you can give time for helping the people with having such wonderful relationship, and reciprocating with them, making nice arrangement for their coming, and speaking to them very nicely, understanding what is happening with them, and giving the right message during that time, somehow or the other injecting Krishna Krishna's message while our talk is while we talk with the other person. That is preaching. So it's just not like giving a class is preaching. Preaching just never is. Yeah, that is correct. We give a class to them so that they understand the philosophy. But then most of the time people are looking forward for how much are we following the philosophy also. So if we are able to follow the philosophy very nicely, then that is like wonderful preaching. So, and that makes people around here to be attracted to Krishna consciousness. They want to see that devotees are special. Devotees are special in the sense they are caring, they are loving, they are for the other people around, for whatever they are going through. So if we are able to give that thing, that's very wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one
Thank
more thing I want to mention is that, like we read in today's verse about, that literally we live the Bhagavad Gita, something like that, right? So
Yes.
I was talking to somebody in my family saying that you should read Prabhupada's books because, we don't know any moment, any disease can come or death can come. It's Kali Yuga. It's not like we're going to die in the old age. So
Yes.
where is it written in Bhagavad Gita? Now, I'm not such a, I'm not a scholar. I don't know much idea. And when the person,
Yeah, padam padam yad vipadam natesham, that is there. The verse
which
is
is the
there,
verse, Prabhuji, I wanted to know the verse. So I was trying to talk to someone. If you can
Mm.
that verse, I can share because it'll take me so much time finding that verse and getting back to the person.
Okay, I'll tell you within some time. Where is that verse? Padam padam yad vipadam
Okay, no
natesham.
problem. That's all I wanted to know. Because,
Yeah.
like we say that we're living the Bhagavad Gita. So then when we, tell these stories or whatever, like, that we should be serious and all, and this is like older person.
Mm.
So then, they said, no, this is the life
Actually, for them, you should tell them to read Ajamil Katha. Ajamil Katha is very wonderful. It comes in Srimad Bhagvatam, 6th
Uh-huh.
canto,
Mhm.
first chapter, second chapter. If they are able to read, that is the best thing actually. Because if they are old, they can understand what can happen at the time of death. So definitely, you can ask them
See,
to
I will
read this.
understand. I will understand like that. You said sixth canto, like
First chapter and second chapter that you can ask them to read.
so what
So
is the thing that comes out? It's 611.
yeah, 611 actually, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yeah,
If you go
because
on Vedabase also, you can get that thing.
611 and 612.
Yes.
Okay, because it's like 3 digit, unlike Bhagavad Gita. So
No,
I have
yeah.
to know, I have to know
No, you
exactly.
can ask them to read that complete this thing. It's easy.
Okay, okay,
So
okay. I can read.
that is.
I can read with her. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. And also, if you have a quote from Bhagavad Gita, because mostly everyone
Yeah.
has, then you can kindly share that, or you can share with the Mataji.
Yeah. I'm just sharing.
If you cannot get during the call time.
This is. I'm not getting the verse number. This is Padam. This Dukhalaya Mashasatam. What is that verse? Anyone remembers? I have to just check the Gita. Okay, I'll tell you within some time.
Okay.
Yes.
So much.
Yes.
A wonderful class, Prabhuji. First time I heard you, and hope we can have more association of yours in the future.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji. This is Geeta.
1 second before you, he has raised his hand. Jenny,
Okay,
you
sure.
want to ask something? Then we will take from Gita Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, the verse you are referring to is from Bhagavatam 10.14.58. Canto
Okay.
10, chapter 14, verse 58. Padam
Okay.
padam yat
Yes.
vipadam natesha.
Natesham. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
It's 10,
Padam.
14, 10, 14, 58.
58. Yes.
Okay, Bhagavatam.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, Mataji.
thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
No problem, you are welcome. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, wonderful class. Thank you so much. We are
Hare
relishing it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Friend is husband travel Jani.
Yeah.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much. My question to you is, sir, that Prabhuji is that the Bhagavad Gita and the inspirations that you and many other spiritual leaders have given has been extremely powerful for hundreds and thousands of years. In the modern age, many of these professions called as masters in education or therapists or clinical counselors, any plans of you as an organization generating more such clinical therapists and connecting with the modern accreditations where more people realize this is not.
Sorry, your voice is breaking. I did not get the last couple of sentences.
I think sometimes when the video is not on, only audio, that works better. Yeah.
I'll try that out, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Very inspiring. I'll come to my question directly, sir. The teachings that you and many other spiritual leaders have given are extremely powerful, and they connect very profoundly with many individuals. My question to you is that in modern day and age, we have masters in education, we have therapists, psychologists, counselors, and so on. Any plans for you as an organization or ISKCON as an organization to create such certifications which are also being accepted by the mainstream? Because this is just not made up in last few hundred years. What you're teaching is from thousands of years.
Yeah.
So the profoundness of it is very there. And any actions in those directions, Prabhuji?
Yeah, actually, this our Gaurang Prabhu, he's working on this thing, from GEV, this Govardhan Eco Village. He's making some courses available in the universities where people can study these courses and get a certification actually. So he's collaborating with few universities in Mumbai and other places. Right now, as an organization, we did not work out in this direction yet, but now we got aware. Some devotees had that awareness, and now they start in making few steps, like making this Bhaktivedanta Research University, or be this one more university what he has organized, where everyone can come and study these courses, like how students go and study different courses outside. They can come and study these courses. So this more information is available on Govardhan Eco Village, this website also, I think. Or if you get in touch with Gaurang Prabhu, he can help you out with giving this complete idea of what exactly he is doing. And there is a program called Study Abroad. Recently when he was in Harvard University, he presented this thing that any students who want to take this understanding of Gita and Bhakti Yoga, they can come to Govardhan Eco Village, visit that place, and make that as an assignment or internship they can do in studying abroad. Studying abroad is a very famous thing. People actually, a lot of students actually, they want to go and study different subjects in different universities. So he has made that forum where students can go and definitely learn more about that aspect. So if you are able to help in that section, that will be very wonderful. I suggest that when Gaurang Prabhu comes and visits, you can be in touch with him. Yes.
Absolutely, Prabhuji. I'll make it a point to do that. And I think it's not only about religious studies, it is genuinely about creating counselors and therapists, which has these ideologies and works world over. So absolutely.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Sanita again.
Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhu, the verse number I gave, it has just the last sentence is Padam Padam Vipadam. The exact context is in Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 25. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay.
This is the actual word, Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Na Tesham Narayan Para.
Mataji, I was just reading. I was reading 10, 14, 58. I didn't find my context in that.
I know, there's just the last sentence. This one is the actual verse, Mataji.
Yes.
Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 25. Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Na Tesham Narayan Paraha Sarvena Kutrichan Bibhyati is the right one, Prabhu. For those who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of all living entities and is fearless. There's no fear even in the greatest of dangers.
Yes, and also Prabhuji gave 611. Also very relevant. The last line of the translation is, thus one's repetition of birth and death in the material world ceases. This is the last line I'm reading from the translation. but this kind of will help me in my preaching, through the Shastras. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. This is Kunti Mataji's prayer. Padam Padam. Yeah.
Yes, Padam Padam Yad Vipadam
Yes.
Natesham. That is Kunti Mataji's prayer.
Yes, Kunti Mataji's prayer. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
What we do without devotees in our life, because we do preaching, but we stop at a certain point thinking now how to give reference, because the reference of the books will change the mind, not our words. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
In Bhagavad Gita also, if you want a reference, you can refer 8.15.
Yes.
Mamu pente tu punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam. That verse also tells about how
Yes.
this material
Yeah,
world
what, 8:15?
is temporary.
Yeah.
8:15.
Because the person is reading Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, okay, 8:15.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hare
Any
Krishna
other discussions?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
thank you
Yes.
so much for this excellent class, wonderful class. So nicely you explained about preaching thing and how we should go with preaching very simply and slowly and make Krishna devotees to our friends or surroundings. Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I ask?
Pranita Mataji is a sister of Kanai Thakur Prabhu. You know Kanai Thakur.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One question can I ask? Is
Yes,
it too
yes.
late?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Prabhu, you said in your class, what I got from it was that when you are preaching, you have to live the values in order to be an effective preacher, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one thing I got from your class. And the second thing is now, as a devotee and as our interactions with devotees, sometimes we come across people who are very dominating, like senior devotees, or sometimes they say things that hurt our heart. So, as being in the process of learning yourself, how do you take those things? What should be your state of mind, and how should you take it as something coming from Krishna? And on the other side, let's say you are a senior devotee and you are around people who are constantly they are judgmental. They use, like, definitely I'm sure that happens, like when all of you all senior devotees, you are going out preaching, you come across people who are like constantly judging you guys or saying ill things, or using, maybe they don't use profanity, but some kind of language that is hurtful. How should we take, like, in both sense, how should we take these things as coming from Krishna and use them in our growth, and encouraging people around us to take up Krishna consciousness and take it as something coming from Krishna, and just, like, can you please explain that, Prabhu, from both perspectives?
The thing is, sometimes when we see that, some senior devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness for a long time, and if they have some shortcomings in their behavior, and it is hurting us, especially by their talk or by something, by their different demeanor, like, they're always making sure, they're putting their own thing first rather than putting our own thing, or making a combined offering to the Lord. It's just like my thing should be there. So, when we are put in that situation, we can always, what we can do is, how we see is, first thing is, how we see them is, what is happening around with us. We should take it in a way that, it's Krishna's arrangement, that, he wants us to learn this aspect so that I don't commit these things. First lesson what we can do is, when we see people around making mistakes and we know that is the mistake what people are committing, so we should learn that I'm not supposed to repeat the same mistakes. So, and I may not behave in such a way that that is causing uh, trouble to other people around us. So that should be always be a learning lesson for us. And other thing what we can see is uh, other very important thing what we can see is, if we cannot correct that person because he's senior, then we can always refer to the other senior person whom we are in close in touch, and then we can tell Prabhu this aspect of his, if he changes little bit, or if he works on this aspect, then definitely that will be beneficial not for him but for the preaching of everyone, especially for preaching to other people also, and the impact can be more stronger when he is able to act in such a way. So you should, if you don't have that samban, if you don't have that adhikar, then we don't correct the person, but you can always present it to the right authorities. And if the authorities feel that yes, these things have to be communicated to that person, then definitely they will communicate it. And if they do it, then it's the right thing that we are, it will be beneficial to everyone in one way. And sometimes it's living in ISKCON for a long time, we see people sometimes act in a very different way or behave in a very different way, even though they are very seniors. But we always see that thing as personal traits which Krishna gives as an indication that this material world is not a perfect place. So we cannot expect perfection from every person. So that thing is also always there. We cannot expect that everyone will be perfect in that thing. So we can definitely understand the philosophy. It's like that everyone is come here for purification, and everyone is under the shower. He's taking a bath after traveling around. He's taking a bath, so he's getting cleansed of all the impurities whatever he has got through. So definitely, over a period of time, if Krishna wants, those impurities will be removed. And if Krishna wants, then that thing can definitely go away from that devotee. The small things. But the best thing is, we can see that how he is able to, you know we just don't see the faulty side of that person, rather than we see the more good aspects of that person. We should have that vision, we should increase that vision more and more. We should see how is he able to serve Krishna dedicatedly for so many years. How is he able to, you know, render so much service to Srila Prabhupada and to his spiritual master, to all the devotees. That should be the appreciation also. This might be something which is like lingering in his behavior, or lingering by his words or something like that. But rather than, if we just catch to that aspect and miss the main aspect of seeing the good in that person, then that is a drawback in ourselves only. So we should always look forward for something which is positive in that person. And if we don't find anything positive in that person, we should ask some devotees to please glorify that person, tell something good, some good qualities about that person. And then we see that it works out very nicely. The moment you start hearing the glories of that person, you will understand he has a glorious part also. Like I remember, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, when there was a fight among two devotees in the ashram, in Kalka, in Mayapur, he called both of the devotees, and he told, you stand in front of each other and now you glorify each other. And that person was so shocked. He told, I cannot glorify only that person, he doesn't have any good qualities. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, no, he asked, try to see, at least he'll have some good qualities. And that person was thinking what he has. And for 3 to 5 minutes, he was just thinking. And then he started telling, oh yes, he wears with tilak very beautifully. And then he started glorifying, he started speaking about one quality, this quality, that quality. And eventually, he started glorifying that devotee for so many good qualities. And the same happened with the other person also. He started speaking about the other person so nicely. And both of them were shocked that, in spite of, having shortcomings in their behavior, they were able to glorify each other so wonderfully. And after that, they both started crying, and they started embracing each other. And they told, actually, this is something which we never felt, that there was mistake he has done is such a small mistake. For that, why should I be able to not see good qualities in that person? So that should be our approach, actually, when we see there are some shortcomings in some senior devotees or something like that. So, rather than getting carried away with the negative things, we should always be looking for something positive. And I know sometimes it might be a little gross in their behavior, but the more we see, we should always try to communicate with the right authorities. So if we are able to do that thing, then it will be very much be beneficial. I hope this answers the question. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful and detailed explanation. Really appreciate.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Yashoda Vatsal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, and nice to see you again.
Yes.
I always see you when His Grace Radhesham Prabhu comes, then you come here to Baltimore and Potomac. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm coming actually next week. Radhesham Prabhu is coming to Washington DC. So
yeah,
not Washington,
definitely.
he's coming to Baltimore.
Baltimore,
So
yeah, for
this
our youth
coming
preaching. Yeah.
weekend actually is coming for the youth program, youth camp.
Sure,
So I'll be there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
sure, Prabhuji. Yeah, being from ISKCON Pune, I always feel proud to be associated, and you know, you all are make and we all are fake. I am a fake, definitely. Like, that's what. But yeah, that name comes Pune. And thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this question answers. Especially, I was late because I had my previous class, so I joined little late when you started the question answers, and every question answer was really touching. And the way Jani Prabhuji said, this is the reason, because this is not just the devotee interaction that you are explaining. It is just a human being level, how psychologically we should handle people, how we should live conducively in the society without hurting others, or even if we see some faults in someone, even in our normal day-to-day life, even in office, yeah, even at work, or even in the society, with the neighbor, then how we should deal with things, how nicely we should, so I second Jani Prabhu that we must have this kind of, all these years, last 50, 60 years, Prabhupada has been doing this for free. But now I think we should start some special courses, classes, and that should get accredited by the universities, so that people really follow this path, and they understand that this is not just for some spiritual is the, rather I would say, for those people who are more into material, spiritual is the side effect. But even in their day-to-day life, what they live materially, they can get it. It's the other way around actually, but yeah, we can tell them their way around maybe. But yeah, wonderful point Jani Prabhu has put, and the
Actually,
last
Gaurang Prabhu
explanation.
is working. Gaurang Prabhu is working in this aspect, and there are few devotees with him who are working in this aspect of making most of the courses available, where people get to read and study Prabhupada books very nicely, actually. So, if you want to do something in this aspect, I strongly recommend that you can be in touch with Gaurang Prabhu and help him in this aspect. If you can do help in bringing that thing in our universities in United States, also US also.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I not read, honestly, my sincere apologies, but I have not read the perfect question, perfect answer book completely till end. And if these kind of questions are covered, otherwise we should have some version 2, part 2 of perfect question, perfect answers, where all these things should be included and should be given as a book of on the psychology. Yeah, so how to, so everyone will be able to deal this kind of situations. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and thank you so much, Prabhuji. And also, Prabhuji, to answer to Jani Prabhu's question, we have Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav courses at GEV website also, and in New Jersey, Princeton University has this department, and they have some degrees in this respect, Prabhuji, and our God brother, you know him, Venkat Bhatt Prabhu. So
Yeah, Venkat Bhatt Prabhu, I have heard about him.
he
He's also
does, yeah, he's in charge of that department, or he's involved in that department, Prabhuji. So, Jani Prabhu, you can, thank you for the beautiful thought. And yes, it's working on by Gaurang Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think Geeta Mataji had a question.
Yeah, I think yes. Sorry, I just asked Jani Prabhu to speak. Geeta
Yeah.
Mataji, you have a question? Then we'll take that question and end after that.
Yeah, Hari Krishna Prabhuji, sorry I'm driving, but yeah, I can ask my question. Is that number one? Yeah, it's very good to get the certifications and all. I mean, I'm continuing with the question that was asked before now. But more important than that is to incorporate it in our daily lives, right? So it would be great if these classes are held where people can stay and do the classes so that, you know, your way of life is also followed. You follow the way of life of the way ISKCON is preaching. Anyway, that's just my thought. My question, Prabhuji, was basically about, like you said, prasadam also helps in changing one's thinking process, right? Like giving prasadam, distributing books, and you know, how to bring people into um, ISKCON. So it's basically so basically what you're saying is through vibrations, because by eating, it's the vibrations that are getting into one's body, and that's how it's working subtly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the
What
person
happens is
go ahead.
Krishna's mercy comes through the prasad also. Sometimes people here are so ignorant that they cannot take the holy name or they cannot take the message of Gita directly. So what we do is we try to give them the message of Krishna, or give the mercy of Krishna through prasad. Prasad, everyone loves it. So if you just give the prasad also, what happens is the moment they take prasad, they start, if they take regularly or if they get an opportunity to take prasad, then what happens is there is always a opportunity that their consciousness becomes purified. And once their consciousness starts getting purified little by little, then they are ready to receive the message of Gita, or receive the message of the holy name. So then it becomes very easy for them to take Krishna consciousness. So
Right.
prasadam does that magic actually. If people outside are not ready to take directly the message of the Lord, then we indirectly, at least, we give the form of prasad to people around.
Thank you, Prabhuji, very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we will end here now, and
Prabhuji,
thank
just
you.
to ask, because I hear Radhesham Prabhu's classes quite
Yeah.
often, is he also coming to Florida side?
Actually, during this visit, he's not coming to Florida. Maybe next visit, during the month of September, that time we can plan, and he'll be visiting mostly Florida side.
Oh, that'll be very nice, because a lot of devotees come to Alachua, and
Okay.
so if
Alachu actually, generally Radhesham Prabhu's mood is that he wants to do college preaching. So wherever colleges are there, wherever preaching is happening in the colleges, there he wants to go and spend more time. So Baltimore is doing college preaching to the youth. So that's why he wants to spend some time in Baltimore. He spends times in Boston, Brooklyn, Boston, New York, and Dallas and Seattle, San Jose, where college preaching is happening. So if you have any colleges there where they are able to come and help in preaching, then definitely Radhesham Pro will be very happy to come to Alachu also.
so Prabhuji, there is a University of Florida where
Mhm.
they have a Krishna house set up. It was set up by
Yeah. We visited Kalkan Prabhu Krishna House
yes,
set up.
yes,
We Gainesville, we have visited there that last time when Radhesham Pro was here.
so my humble
So
request, if you can ask him to come to Gainesville, Krishna House, and Alachua side. There are,
yeah,
we can also, I'm being selfish, we can take his association also, and then we can spread the word around, and there are like they do 600 lunches and
yeah,
give
correct.
the
Yes.
campus. Yeah.
I've seen that. It's very wonderful, actually, the way they distribute the prasad. So, Gita Mataji, you can see how we are injecting Krishna consciousness in the students' life. Now they are taking prasad cooked by devotees offered to Krishna. Eventually, what happens is they will be more recipient to the message of Krishna. in the future. As soon as their heart get more purified, then definitely they can come in touch with Krishna. Yes,
Thank you,
Mataji, we'll
Prabhuji.
definitely
Thank
try
you,
to come.
Prabhuji.
Yeah,
We'll try
Prabhuji,
to.
please convey to from our side or Florida, devotees here that if he can come to even Alachua, Gainesville, like that area, UF University, then it'll be very nice. Thank you so much.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm very grateful to Shamrasika Mataji for giving this opportunity for joining this call and being with all of you. So whatever I have spoken is by the mercy of my spiritual master and by the mercy of my senior teachers who have taught me. And if I have spoken anything wrong or any mistake, please forgive me. That is my mistake, which I consider. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
We are so blessed to have you, Prabhuji, today.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, and we want you to more come on the conference call. So I know you are in temple, so it's you are always busy, but yeah.
Whenever there is an opportunity, definitely I'll always come forward to
Yes,
have all of you.
yeah, you are always there, Prabhuji.
We would like Prabhuji to be more on our conference call, so we can schedule in that way. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
Pranam.
much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
His grace, Sri Gopal Prabhu, Pran Prabhu ki jai.
Pranam, Pawan, Vaishnav,
Devo Namo Namah, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Namah Thakur ki jai,
Thakur ki jai.
Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Bhagavad Gita ki jai,
Jai.
Shri Gopal Pran Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hari Bol,
Hare
Radhe
Hari
Bol.
Bol,
Hare
Radhe
Bol.
Radhe.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, for arranging all the speakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hare Krishna.
All goes to all the devotees who join every day so that we can arrange
All
this.
glories to everyone who is participating.
Surendra Prabhu, Gita Mataji, you, Preni Mataji, Vinod Prabhu. Yes.
Pranita
Thank you
Mataji.
to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glorious to Shyama Raska Mataji.
Haribol to
Ram Rasika Devi Dasi Mataji.
Sham Raska Devi Dasi Mataji and Nikunj Das Prabhu.
Gita Mataji, 3 times Haribol to Mataji and Prabhuji. Haribol.
Yes.
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol. Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Today we are sitting here hearing the nectar because of them. So it's all
Yes.
Haribol.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank
For
you. Thank you.
Orlando
Hare
Mataji
Krishna.
also.
Yes,
No,
Rupini Mataji.
I was not even here. I just joined like a guest, but I'm so inspired by them. Hare Krishna.
You went on vacation and all, and you came back.
Mataji, you are also the part of the conference.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not good to
One
go
of the pillars. One
long
of the
time.
pillars from Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. I can
Hare Krishna.
just say one thing for everyone who goes on vacation, that go to vacation, but then still be connected to devotees. Because when we are devoid of devotees, it's very, very miserable life.
Yes.
We still remember one of your parvachan that was very good, and we are waiting one more from your side.
No, Prabhuji, yeah, like just pray for me that I can, hear. If I hear more carefully, then only I can do pravachan. Right now, it's so much, other things going on. Because one of Prabhupada's lecture, he says, if we have to hear and we have to speak, but our hearing has to be very, very concentrated. Only then it'll go to the heart and stay there, and then we can speak. So it'll take time, Prabhuji, but we try our best to
But Mataji, what just now Prabhuji said about Radhesham Prabhu,
Yes.
you please take lead from Florida side, connect Prabhu with Kalakanta Prabhu, and then try to see, because Florida is one of the huge hub for the university preaching, so it is going to be
Yes, it is.
very,
That's what I
very
thought.
effective. Yeah.
So,
You and Shamarasika can speak to Prabhuji and then make sure that it is scheduled in September, so it will be really good. Yeah.
I want to ask you, when he says youth preaching, so like what is it when he comes to Boston and other places? Are they inviting students there, or are they going to the university?
Yes, they have to be student. Actually, they have the student groups. So what happens, through this college preaching now, Baltimore Temple, they are connected to the college preaching by distributing prasadam and everything. So they have a bhakti club into the universities, so that helps the temple to, gather all the youths. And I think they have some certain programs also, uh, other time as well. So then when such kind of preacher come, they invite everyone, and then they make a youth program. Basically, it's a kind of, like, you will find in the temple that they all youth, like from college they are sitting, so they have a good practice. Other devotees, like, they are taking efforts, to like lot of activities they do in Baltimore temple. So like that, I think Krishna House is already doing so many things. So it will not be that difficult at your
Yes,
side.
and what it is like Alachua temple is basically like not connected to youth preaching. I will say like that,
I
because
know, I know, I know. Yeah, Alachua is not, but Krishna
Krishna
House
House already doing.
at the same time, like, if Radhesham Prabhu is coming, definitely his class will be scheduled in Alachua temple, then Orlando temple maybe one day, and then a whole event can be conducted in Krishna House, there or something.
Yes. And Prabhuji, is there any video, that helps? Because, like if there's a video where he's come to America, he's
Uh,
giving a class and there is all youth sitting there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If there's any video, please share with me. So
sure,
that
Mataji,
way,
sure.
we can move towards it, at least take a baby step that, how we can also get some guidance down south here
Yes.
to go about. Because I know there is a Bhakti, Orlando Bhakti Center, but they function on weekdays with Dwapan Prabhu, and few devotees go there to the university. But I don't know how big it's running. I can talk to them also.
Yeah, you can initiate from with Dwaipan Prabhu Mataji, who is the temple
पता नहीं
president.
कितना बड़ा circle है. I don't know how many they are doing. Is it a very small scale? एक room में they're just doing like little bit students coming. That I don't know. Because
Yeah.
I'm not involved there. But yes, I know because Radhesham Prabhu is like the
Yeah,
top preacher in the youth.
that's why I told about Orlando Temple also, because it has to be in Orlando Temple, Alachua Temple, and then the whole event, like maybe 2 days or 3 days, whatever Radhesham Prabhu suggests. Then it can be in Krishna House. So and also they can combine it together with Orlando Temple.
And also, like, since we are not doing it, and Radhesham Prabhu ka guidance, agar, suppose like Prabhuji ne mentioned kara September May he might come, right? So we need his blessings and support. So that way, wo itna kar rahe India mein and even up north, because of your Guru Maharaj's, mercy and blessings, कि हमें भी थोड़ा सा guidance मिल जाएगा उनके आने से. That
Yes,
we'll be more
Mataji,
prepared.
we are coming for Sadhu Sangha. We'll club everything together. Like I will like we'll talk in detail.
Okay,
About this.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Next month we are coming. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Welcome, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bol,
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol.